Please raise your left hand. Now please put them both in and shake them all about. You may proceed.
May it please the court to know that I have been tasked with talking about Andy's second decade. And if you oblige, Your Honor, I'd like to call upon my 4 expert witnesses to stand and address the court.
I'll allow it.
Some of you may be wondering how I could possibly talk about an Andy I hadn't yet met. But I learned pretty early on about his younger life. Or perhaps better said, I was warned. Let me explain. Just a few months into our dating, which by the way was almost 21 years ago, a lifetime to some, a UT career to others, I received a small blue envelope addressed to me at my office. It was unmarked with no return address. Now, if this was 2018, this might warrant an FBI investigation, but back in the peaceful, naive Clinton days of 1998, I figured the worst possible thing it could be was a chain letter. So, without an ounce of hesitation, open it I did. To my surprise, out fell a 2x3-inch size middle school photograph of a boy with a big toothy grin, bookmark that for reference later, and really, really, really big hair. I had heard all the stories, and as I looked hard through the giant swath of poofy curls, I realized the boy looked vaguely familiar, and I immediately knew who the sender was. Laura. I know now she was only trying to protect me. Remember, there was no note, but somehow the photograph was speaking to me. Stick with this guy, and pubescent boys with teeth and hair are your offspring. But despite this convincing argument, I could not be swayed, because it was also saying something else to me, and it was this. Stick with this guy, and you will find no one more loyal, more loving, more honest, and more full of the good stuff. I know this now because we have 4 sons who are all living their second decade of life. And I see Andy in each of them. In Teddy, our oldest, now 14 and is a freshman in high school, I see a willingness to always do what's right. I see discipline and integrity. I see the ability to think through big decisions with deliberate thoughtfulness. I see honesty and truth and a commitment to hard work. I see a love of baseball and silly movies. And it can't go without saying that although I definitely see some height, and what the heck, because it's his day, I'll just let him take the credit for that too. In Gus, one of our 7th grade twins, now 12 and a half, I see intelligence and a love for history and justice, which, let's be honest, comes in handy when you have 3 brothers. I see a need for daily solitude and an insatiable thirst for books and learning. I see boldness and righteousness. I see a willingness to try new things. I see a love of adventure and skiing and swimming and an appreciation of boats and mountains and the sea. In Mac, his twin, I see a fierce competitive spirit, a desire to do his best, the ability to compromise, and a willingness to help others, even if that means self-sacrifice. I see the unique ability to be perceptive and sensitive, yet still be true to himself. I see the obligation to step up, especially when no one else does. I see a big smile and a dry wit. I see a love of running and quiet time, and yes, steak. I see the perfect combination of brains and laughter and love. And in our youngest, Link, wave your hand, Link, who I might add is not quite 10, but seems to be well on his way to 16, I see leadership, thoughtfulness, a laugh-out-loud sense of humor, a late-night TV-riled storytelling ability, and a daring sense of street cred. The resourcefulness to clean the kitchen like nobody's business, and most importantly, some really good dance moves. And might I add, more than anyone, Link knows how to rock his hair. Many of you know that Andy and I officially met at the now shuttered Chief Ike's Mambo Room in October night in 1998. I had been Jim Girl, whom he'd apparently watched from afar for nearly a year. To me, he was, I've never seen you before guy, but that soon changed. About a month later, after stairmasting together at the DuPont Washington Sports for a few weeks, I invited him to the inevitable Capitol Hill fundraiser. Not only did he show up, but so did the ex that just dumped me. I fluttered between the two the whole night and between the necessary courage of a few cocktails. Andy, who showed up looking impressive in a suit with a wingman, definitely looked important. During one round of tag teaming my two guests, Andy coolly acknowledged he had to leave, and when he did, slipped me the biggest business card I have ever seen. Paul, somehow I know you were responsible for that. The biggest business card was like an index card. I still have it in my wallet, actually. It read, Mann, Patuski, Rothblatt, and Fisher, and if there's anything more impressive than that, my 27-year-old self had never seen it. I was in. Andy, getting your name on the door was worth it. Only months later, when I fortuitously learned that Andy Fisher only wore jeans and Tevas to work, and had only gone home to change into a suit and grab his wingman Alfonso to impress me. See? Full of the good stuff. By January, we were finally on our first date, and that was when I heard the most defining story of Andy's second decade. A story that brings together all that is Andy, the humor, the street sense, the justice, the integrity, and of course you can't live out the sex appeal. Go ahead, Nod, you've heard the story, come on. It's the I got my tooth kicked out in Spain story in a bar fight. If I wasn't sold by the business card, I was definitely sold after that legendary tale. Your Honor, I won't dare use this podium as an opportunity to steal the glorious thunder of the story, I mean his tooth, his story. But I do believe Walt Disney summed it up best when he said, and I quote, "You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you." And maybe your cosmetic dentist, but I digress. Thank you, Martine, for all the dental insurance. But that alone, not the photograph, was what gave me the real picture of Andy. Because in a way, it was, after filling ketchup bottles and folding the perfect t-shirt and sleeping on couches when he first moved to DC, it was a kick in the teeth that brought Andy to Paul's door that day. It was, in a way, a kick in the teeth that sent Andy to law school and encouraged him to work hard enough to get his name on the front door. And it was even a kick in the teeth that gave Andy the courage to ask me out on our first date. It's clear that even in his second decade of life, he was not one to turn away from a challenge. He was not one to get up when he was knocked down, and he was always one to remain loyal to and stick up for those who mattered most. I have known Paul and Martine and Chris almost as long as I've known Andy. I first visited the law offices of MPRF when the only decor was Bill Rock's cardboard George Washington portrait and other bartered works of furniture and art. I even recall attending Martine and Bina's 18th wedding anniversary party. I have witnessed the rise of an incredible company committed to Andy's success. While many of our friends have had 5 or 6 different jobs post-college, Andy has had just one. This says something about UT, about the people here in this room, and about the company's unwavering commitment to its employees' growth. But it also says something really amazing about Andy. 26 years is a long time. Andy has had this job not only longer than I have known him, but more than half his life. I am here to honestly testify that there is no one more loyal and more deserving of this wonderful celebration of service tonight than the guy with the best hair and the best smile in the room.